So now you hear all the stories about how freight brokers don't pay carriers or they don't pay carriers on time. And how that adversely affects the trucking industry is it in effect runs small trucking companies out of business if they don't get paid on time. But what we don't talk so much about is when freight brokers don't get paid on time by shippers and how that also negatively impacts the trucking industry because it runs small freight brokerages out of business. So in today's video, I want to share with you what to do if you don't get paid by shippers on time, and also if you should wait to get paid before you move any additional loads. So now if you were thinking to yourself that freight brokers don't have the worry of getting paid on time because they work with big companies, because big companies always pay on time, right? Well, no, you couldn't be further from the truth. Small, medium, and big companies all could have cash flow issues. And guess what? They commonly do. So it doesn't have a whole lot to do with the size of the company when it comes to getting paid on time. So here's an example of what I'm talking about. I work with a shipper who employs over 500 people and earns over $50 million in revenue a year. And they sent me a check for $3,700 that bounced all over Wells Fargo. So it doesn't matter the size of the company. As a matter of fact, this is a problem that you're actually looking forward to, because the more money you make, the more you're likely to encounter a problem like this. If you're not making a whole lot of money, then you may not run into these problems often. So ironically, we're looking forward to this problem, but you also need to know how to handle it. So here's a quick look into how we took care of this situation. So now I'm in the camp that understands that as business owners, we can't afford to be cavalier about potentially losing 3,700 big ones. But at the same time, I understand that in this business, that comes with the territory. That's just a part of the business that we've all chosen. And what's more important now that this situation has happened is not what happened, but how you respond to what has happened. Because at the end of the day, this could affect your relationship moving forward with the shipper. So what we want to do is take a look at what has taken place, remove emotions all the way from the equation, and deal with the actual facts. Because it's easy to get kind of fired up about these situations when someone owes you money and you're potentially a little bit scared about whether or not you're going to get it back. So remove emotions from the equation entirely and just deal with the facts. So now I certainly don't mean to insinuate that you should be walking on eggshells, because let's remember, you haven't done anything wrong here. You are the one that hasn't gotten paid. But I'm just saying that you should be very professional and understanding in this situation, especially if it's the first time that it's taken place. As a matter of fact, let's check out step number 1 of what I suggest that you should do in this situation. So now step number 1, we're going to gather all of the verifying documents. Get a copy of the check that bounced, and you also want to get a copy of that invoice. And once you have all of the verifying documents, now it's time to go ahead and give the shipper's accounting department a call. Not the shipper just yet, but the accounting department. Once we give the accounting department a call and we start to give them the information, let them know what took place, usually what's going to happen is they're going to apologize for what has happened. Oh, Brandon, I'm so sorry that this has happened. And then what we're looking for is when the check is going to be taken care of, and also the charges. You're going to also need them to pay the charges that come with that bad check. So once you hear that, hey, I'm going to pay for that in 3 to 4 days, boom, that's what we're looking for. And we'll let them know, hey, no problems on this end. We know these types of things happen. We just want to make sure that it gets taken care of. Now, once you've taken care of that part with the accounting department, the next step that we want to take care of is we want to call the shipper. Now, the reason why we want to call the shipper is because that's who you work with on a day in and day out basis. You want them to know, hey, we moved a load for you, and unfortunately, the check bounced when the accounting department paid us. So once we give them that information, now we want them to understand that, hey, we have some loads that are moving for you later on this week or next week, and that check still hasn't been paid. So that's a little bit of a concern to us, but we are going to go ahead in this situation because we've been working with you a little while. We trust that we're going to get paid. We're going to go ahead and move those loads. But that is something that you have to be really careful of, because you can have, in this case, $3,700 out, and then after you move another load, let's say it was $2,500, now we're talking about $6,200. And that's a lot of money. And if you don't get paid, that can really have a big effect on you, because you, remember, still have to pay carriers. So we want to make sure that we are handling this in a very strategic way. We want to look at it and understand, hey, what kind of relationship have I had with this shipper up to this point? How have their payments been? Have they been slow to pay? Have they been ahead of payments? What's the deal on that? And if you notice that this shipper has been good throughout the relationship that you've shared with them, then you may want to go ahead and say, hey, I'm going to move these loads anyway. I expect that they're going to do what they say they're going to do. But at the same time, you also want to guard against overextending yourself, because if you have too many invoices out there that are not paid, that could be very catastrophic for your business. Step number 3, and which is very important, is you need to start thinking about what your backup plan is. How are you going to pay your carrier if you don't get paid by your shipper? Because that very well could happen. The shipper says they're going to pay you in the next 3 to 4 days, but that could or could not happen. And the carrier has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on with you and your shipper. You have to make sure that your carrier still gets paid. Your carrier did what he said he was going to do. He picked the load up, he dropped it off, he didn't have any issues with it, and now it's time for him to get paid. So we have to make sure that carrier gets paid regardless of what happens with us and the shipper. The next and final step I think you should take is make sure you're following up with your shipper. Yes, the shipper said they were going to pay you in 3 days. Let's say that was on a Wednesday. And now it's Thursday and you still haven't gotten paid. What some people would do is say, hey, I'm going to wait till Friday and see if it happens on Friday. I wouldn't suggest you do that. If the shipper told you they were going to pay you on Wednesday and you haven't gotten paid on Wednesday, call the shipper. The reason why I say do that is because you need to make sure that they understand how important it is that you get paid. Sometimes we'll try to say, oh, okay, I'm just going to relax. I'm going to give it a couple days after they said that they were going to pay me. Don't suggest you do that. We want to make sure that they understand we need to get paid, and we need to get paid as quickly as possible. So just make sure you're following up and follow up on time. So now that's what I wanted to share with you today. I certainly hope this information has been helpful. Last but not least, I'm going to leave you 2 big gifts. What I noticed that people usually have problems with, especially when they first start their business, is they don't know how to get customers. And the second problem they have is they don't know how to make money. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave you my free gift titled, What Do I Say to Shippers? And I'm also gonna give you my free video titled, How to Go From $0 per month to $10,000 per month. So until the next time, see you at the top, because the bottom is much too crowded.